Hi Michael, thanks for doing the interview today. We want to talk about Rory and how to develop golf in France.
Certainly, Jeff. You're welcome. Very welcome.
What will the Ryder Cup mean coming to France in 2018?
Well, I think it's great to see the Ryder Cup come to France, and it'll be a fantastic spectacle of golf. And my hope is that it'll actually encourage lots of people to take up the game of golf in France, especially a lot of young people, a lot of young boys and girls who will see this fantastic spectacle, and it will encourage them to go out and pick up a club and to play some golf and get good tuition from their PGA professionals.
Most people who play golf, Michael, know that you've been coaching Rory from age 7
Yes.
until now. He's at a very top level. Do you get much satisfaction from that?
Of course I do. You look back through the years and you see, what Rory has done, how he started off as a very young boy with his dad at Hollywood Golf Club. What gives me those satisfaction is looking back at Rory and seeing how much hard work that he put in at an early age. But he mixed it in with games. He started at the green and learned how to play golf backwards, really. Starting at the green, moving back 100 yards, back to the longer shots. And it was fun for him. He enjoyed it. And he played more than he actually was on the technical side. He played golf. You have to learn how to play the game of golf by going out and playing different shots and learning how to control the ball and hit it high, hit it low. But I think through the teenage years he did practice quite a lot. But my big kick out of looking at Rory is seeing a young lad develop from, like a 3 or 4 year old to where he is now at the top of the world.
Is it right in saying Rory McIlroy was a World Under 10 champion?
Yes.
In Florida.
Rory was a Publix sponsored World Under 10 champion in the Orange Bowl in Florida when he was, I think, 9 or 10 years of age. And that was the first time that we really saw that Rory could put what he had learned in his golf into practice, where he could go out and he could compete with the best people probably in the world at that time in his age group and be successful.
For you, what are the reasons for his success?
He had a dad who was a good golfer. And when Rory was young, he would have copied his dad. He had natural flexibility. He was a very quick learner. He's very intelligent. He loved the game from the very start. And he watched videos of Nick Faldo, Tiger Woods. And you had the raw talent with Rory and all the stuff that his dad had put in early on. Then I was able to go on the technical side and make sure that the swing that Rory was going to develop was going to suit his style of play.
What were Rory's weaknesses, Michael, when he was younger?
I can't remember really any weaknesses at all. There are little things that he did technically in his swing when he was younger. For example, he had a very strong left-hand grip. But I told him, he was very young, that he would have to change it at some stage. So we did change that when he was about 11 or 12 years of age. We changed that.
Michael, just on a point there, did you allow him to have some mistakes in his swing at a young age?
Oh yes,
and knew that you would change him a
you
year
can't make them too perfect. You've got to work with the good things that they have, recognise them, and then at some stage you might have to change them a little bit. But it's very important that my ethos would be that you tease it in gently. It's just a little bit at a time. So eventually you get the full picture. You're not trying to change it, and it doesn't have to be perfect.
Rory would have played links courses, Michael, and as you know, they are different from parrain courses. Do you think that had helped his development, playing in the wind in Ireland and playing in links courses especially?
Well, I think it's a great thing that young people play in all sorts of conditions to learn how to shape the ball, keep it low, play it high, play it left to right, right to left, to be able to play different shots, because it also, it helps their feel. It helps them to build up a kind of a bank of shots in their head so they can bring these out when they need them. And it's fantastic that I'm a big believer in not just so much the technical side, but also in playing the game. You've got to get the balance right when you teach young people to get them playing. It's got to be fun.
Okay.
They've got to go out and play the game. Get good lessons from your professional, but you must blend that in with good fun, some good games, and just enjoying being with your fellow peers, your boys and girls that you play with, and enjoy yourself.
Is there anything stands out that you emphasised when he was developing that he's got now?
I couldn't put my finger on one aspect of it, Jeff. I just think it's been just a mixture of things. We made sure that I think the big thing about teaching Rory was when I taught him something, You know, he came back in 2 weeks and he had it fixed.
Right. He's a fast learner.
He's a fast learner. He had it fixed. I think it made golf fun for him. You know, I would never get annoyed about anything.
Not too serious?
No, not too serious. If there were times, you know, I wouldn't sort of be angry or cross about it or anything, because I know how difficult the game of golf is myself. But I think it was just, rather than being too strict, is to make it more fun, but make sure that you're giving them the good stuff, you know, the right stuff, and letting the natural ability in the player come out through that.
One of his qualities, people say when watching him, that not only is he a long hitter for his size, he has balance. Did you emphasise balance when he was young?
Yes, I did. I used to tell him to hold his balance at the finish. And I think the thing about Rory, and he said to me from time to time, and that's probably why I'm still his coach, is that he trusted what I told him. You know, so lots of the things that I remember that I told him in the early days, he still does. For example, holding the balance, proper takeaway, you know, all the little things that are important to make the swing work properly.
You're currently, Michael, European PGA Coach of the Year 2012. So what would you look at when you look at junior players that make them stand out and have the potential to become a real champion? What are the key success factors you're looking for in a young player?
Well, I think the first thing that we look at in a young player, if the mother or father bring them to us, is how they move, their coordination. Timing and rhythm. That's what we look for first of all. Then we teach them, we give them the proper setup, we give them the proper grip, and we try to start at the real basics. You know, the grip, the aim, the setup, and then we work in, you know, the technical side, the takeaway and playing and follow through. But we make it simple. We talk about it in simple terms. We don't say these things in a way that they don't understand. We try to convey actually what we're teaching in a very simple way, as we say, in simple words that people can understand. And it does work, and also by explaining what's got to happen and then showing, demonstrating, and then letting the player make that change or that move. And making it fun for them. I keep saying fun, but it's got to be fun. It is a game, and children have got to enjoy their golf.
Would you say that's a very positive approach you should be taking and encouraging them? Would be more the UK and Ireland maybe ethos?
Well, it would be. Our ethos here would be to provide good coaching, and then the coaching that I would do, then they move on to a level with the Golfing Union of Ireland, which does fantastic work. It provides facilities for them. It provides competitions for them. And then when they get to an elite level, they're actually provided, you know, with lots of top competition. And then they move into Europe.
Okay, Michael, what is the secret to making young players continue playing golf after they've developed?
Well, I've said it before, it's got to be fun. It's a game. Let's get out there and play the game, enjoy ourselves. Sometimes it's taken a little bit too seriously. I think what you've got to do is, when you're playing golf, it's very easy to let the last shot that you hit affect the next shot, which is something that you shouldn't do, because the game of golf is a journey from the first tee to the 18th green. So if you can early on in your life realise that it's far better, and you'll perform far better if you don't let this happen. If you don't fall out with a golf ball, you don't fall out with your clubs, your parents, and your game, because it just is totally negative in terms of your performance. I look at some of the real top players now, how they perform. You know, they might get slightly annoyed at a shot, but you can guarantee when they go into that next tee box or the next hole that they have totally forgotten about that. They're going to try their best on the next shot, and they normally don't get annoyed. And I think it's important, Jeff, that the young people get a good coach who they can trust, so they're not getting too much information from different areas, and they trust that coach as they go along. But, you know, it's just my ethos. You know, I feel that young people can be encouraged better if they're led along rather than forced into what they're doing. I don't like to see them forced. Let them play the game. You know, if they don't like it, they'll soon tell you.
Did Rory play in junior events at a young age?
Rory did play in junior events. Rory, when he was very young, 11, 12, 13, he went to America for those years, and he played in the top level events that were available for him to play in age groups. as he went along. He stayed with a family out there, he toured America, and he played in sponsored events for maybe 2 or 3 months, and it really brought his game on.
What, in your opinion, does the Tour Elite Junior do for developing young players in France like Rory McIlroy?
It gives them opportunities to play golf on golf courses which are set up at different yardage distance for different age groups and standards, which is a great thing because it makes them feel that they can play good golf on a golf course that suits their abilities. It's international. It's not just within the French Federation. It's also bringing in lots of international players. It's the 9th time this tournament has been played, so it's a very popular tournament, and I feel that it's great fun. It's a great venue and it's great fun for the young people to come and play in this tournament. And the Tej has done a lot for golf in France.
Do you think there's much difference, Michael, between Great Britain and Ireland and the continent, maybe France, the way they coach the children?
I'm not totally au fait on how they do it in France, but I know that the correct way is, and Great Britain and Ireland they've got it right at the moment, especially in Northern Ireland here, I have to say, because we've got so many great champions here. But I think you have to get that blend, as I said, the mixture right of playing the game, but provide plenty of playing opportunities, as the Tej does, and let the young ones play in competitions against people at their level, or playing golf courses. I think one of the good things that the Tej does is allow the players to play on a course with the appropriate distances. Yes, I think that's very important. And give plenty of competition, make them enjoy it, and not too strict on the coaching, not too strict, more on a kind of a gentler ethos, but still with fierce competition when they play against their peers.
So you're not looking for perfection when you're coaching a young player,
No.
developing a young player?
No, there are certain things you have to make them do. If they swing the club a certain way. And I use a lot of video. As you can see here with Rory, just at the BMW Championship, he was on the practice fairway there. Rory and I have used video since he was 10 years of age, and he's not afraid to see his swing on video. So I get a blend of video, teaching with the player, which you must do, and reading of the ball flight, talking to them, listening to the strike. But with young people, you have to make sure that you don't discourage them. Yeah. You have to encourage them, and you have to make sure that they're enjoying it as they go along.
How important is it, Michael, that young players from France play outside France and learn English so they can communicate internationally?
Well, I think it's always a great thing if you can take your skills and go and play against other people, because it also is what Rory did in his early years. He played his golf always against people who were better than him at his age. He was 10, so he played against the best at the 10 or 11 years age group, or he would have played against older people, just to see how he had to develop his game and where he had to go and be. I think it's a fantastic idea that the young people should develop their skills worldwide and take the opportunities if they're able to get there, perhaps with sponsorship or help from different bodies, and also to be able to learn different languages.
Do you have any projects where you're going to Europe to look for the next Rory McIlroy?
I was chosen last year as the European PGA's Coach of the Year, and I'd like to put a little bit more back into European golf. I do a lot here with lots of young boys and girls in this area around Bangor. We have lots of great young talent, and it'd be nice to go further afield and maybe do something for the European PGA. And we've decided perhaps to go to France and maybe look for the next Rory, perhaps next year, or the next Annika Sorenstam.
Oh, yeah. Good idea.
Don't forget about the girls.
Michael, what should the juniors from France take from the Tour Elite Junior events?
It's a great opportunity to go and play golf against probably the best players in Europe, or maybe further afield, at their standard or their age group, and to go and see what they need to do and what the standard is at this present time. Enjoy it, treat it as an exercise that you can see what you need to do to make yourself a better golfer. Bonne chance au Tour Elite Junior à Disneyland Paris. On cherche le futur Rory McIlroy.
Hey, here we go.